Hey there, food fans. Welcome back to the Food for Thoughtcast with me, your host, Melissa Reagan, and my co-host with the most, Chef Steven Gonzalez. What's up, Steve?
Hi, how's it going?
Happy Sunday. It's going amazing. How are you?
It is Sunday. It's a good Sunday. Every Sunday is a good Sunday.
Sunday, fun day, fun day, Sunday.
That's right.
Yes, sir. What you been up to today, Chef?
Um, so a whole lot of nothing, which is a good thing. Getting some rest.
Nice.
I marinated. So, do you remember a few weeks ago I was telling you that I had like this salsa that I made and it was just so hot and fiery?
Yeah, with the chili de arbals.
Yeah. So I ended up marinating a bunch of chicken wings in that and then
Nice.
roasting it off. And it was really good. Super duper good.
Did it mellow or did it amplify?
It had like a small kick to it, but it
Yeah,
wasn't like overwhelming at all.
not like the first time you tried it.
Not like the first time I tried it.
Nice. Did
Yeah.
you smoke those wings?
I was going to, but it's been so windy and gross out here that I just threw
Mm.
them in the oven, did the usual 375 and then broiled them on both sides and all that. So, yeah.
Sorry, we had nap weather this afternoon. Our weather is finally catching up with yours. So we've had two of the most amazing days of like highs in the low 90s, clear, just gorgeous. And then today, all of a sudden at about 11 a.m., it was like gray, dropped some rain, and it's just been kind of like gray. Now we're back down to a low of 38 tonight. So,
For some reason we're in like the 50s and 60s and that's very unusual for this time of year. It should be like a million degrees outside.
yeah. Were these
So,
were these marinated wings the most amazing thing you ate this week?
they were
Nice.
totally.
Love it.
Yeah, I'll try doing that swine apple probably later this week on my next day off.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
What about you? I
It was,
understand you had some
yeah,
fun this weekend.
I did. So I had to cancel my trip to Virginia. One of my dogs started limping and we were supposed to go hiking. So it just wasn't going to be a good weekend for that. But I decided to pivot. And since I already had the time off work, I just decided to be a tourist in my own town. So
Yeah.
I lobbied my coworkers for some recommendations for the best places to eat around town and got a really great list. And I have to say that the most amazing thing I ate this
Was.
entire weekend was the sardine toast from a restaurant called Brodetto. It was
Huh.
this buttery brioche toast with really beautiful grilled sardines on top, tomato tapenade, and crispy guanciale. It was incredible.
Wow.
It was amazing. It was the salty, the sweet, the fishy, the umami, the crunchiness of the guanciale, the that salty bacon quality. It was just insane. I could have had 2 or 3 orders of that and left happy. It was incredible. That was Friday night. Ooh,
Oh,
sorry.
sounds like it's still affecting you, huh?
No, I've got the Sunday slowdown. So I've sat down and now it's catching up.
You're right.
So yeah, I had an early start this morning, and then now it's kind of getting into that time. No afternoon nap, so which I sometimes enjoy on a Sunday if I don't have to work. So now my body is like, oh, we're sitting still for too long. Time to yawn. But no,
Right.
I've had an amazing weekend. So even though I didn't get to take my trip and it was kind of disappointing, I feel like I've given myself the best consolation prize.
I was gonna say, yeah, you sent me some really good pictures over this weekend, and I
Yeah,
was just very amazed. Like there were some things where I was like, wow, and then there was more things where I was like, wow.
yeah,
And
me too.
overall, I was just like, wow.
Me too. I had this dear friend had made some of these recommendations, and I was texting her updates along the way, and she was like, "Man, thank you so much for just going along for the ride and taking these recommendations. I make these recommendations to people all the time, and they always end up going somewhere that's not on this list, and then they wonder why it was trash." And I'm like, "Well, I mean, you made this like incredible hole in the wall, place I would never would have found on my own recommendation to me. I'm not going to like ruin it by going to Chili's. You know, there's a time and a place for Chili's. Don't get me wrong, I love Chili's. Look, Big Mouth Burger, fantastic, but not for this weekend. So I had an amazing like food journey throughout. the city of Raleigh and Durham, which
that's cool.
honestly I hadn't slowed down to do before. So
You know,
yeah,
it's amazing how much dedication you put into work, and the next thing you know, like you haven't had a chance to explore wherever you live. You know?
absolutely. Well, and I just took some time to take care of my own pantry too. So a couple of things that I made. I usually make a muffin of the week. So I just recently joined a buy nothing page on Facebook for the city where I
Okay.
live. Hold on, I think this is about to pop off. Can you please not? Good lord. Um, I was like holding my hand out like Iron Man, like thinking that I could stop the whining that's about to start, but I think it's about to rain, and that's why. Um, hey, it's good, you're safe. So anyway, this buy nothing group, a person popped into it on Friday and was like, "Hey, I have 16 bananas. They're frozen. Leaving them on my porch. First person to comment can come get them." And I was like, "Me, I want them." And so I ended up splitting them with a person that commented beneath me. But sometimes it's food, sometimes it's clothes, sometimes it's furniture, and the rule is that it's completely free. You can give it, you can gift it, or you can be gifted. And so yeah, kind of neat. And then another lady had 3 pounds of oranges that she wasn't going to use, and I was like, I'll come get them. So I ended up making 2 dozen banana orange muffins, like blended full oranges in the blender with,
Okay.
but I have to back the story up because I was taking care of my own house, my own pantry. I made the Rutherford B. Hayes white cake, the
Okay.
White House recipe white cake that's flavored with almond extract and rose water. So super traditional white cake recipe with egg whites, buttermilk. Really interesting though, Steve, like the dry part of this recipe, you actually cut shortening into it before you combine it with the wet ingredients, which were egg whites and buttermilk.
Okay.
So I had a lot of things in my house that I didn't usually have. So then I parlayed those into, okay, I'm going to make the bananas were already perfect. They were already frozen. They turn black when you freeze them. So
Yep.
it was like you could just like squeeze them right out of the peel. I ended up giving 8 of them away, but I used 8 of them to make a total of 24 banana orange muffins. I had egg whites in the house, so kicked up the protein just a little bit in these muffins. And I had buttermilk, which was just a really fun way to add a different fat than I usually have on hand, right? Like I'll usually do like olive oil or butter or like vegan butter, or like water, high protein milk, like the ultra filtered Fairlife milk, or I'll use a protein shake. But these, I just use a couple of scoops of vanilla protein in, and then I had
Uh-huh.
the basics, your baking soda, which was nice because the buttermilk provided the acid for the baking soda to react with. So anyway,
Mhm.
they turned out delicious. So did those, made that white cake. That was incredible. But I got smart. I cut the batch in half and made a single layer because as a single person, I'm like, I don't need a 2-layer cake hanging on my house. Like, I don't care. I don't police my eating of like sweets. Like I let myself eat what I like, but I try to honor those cravings as much as I can when they happen to keep myself from binging later on. But I made a single layer cake and it was beautiful because I could have a little piece every day, and it worked
Yeah.
out. So gave away a couple pieces of it to some like people who were curious to try it, but it was beautiful. It's my go-to white cake recipe now. It had like a very much like a genoise quality without the work. It was gorgeous. I didn't have to whip the egg whites. I didn't have to make the batter into 2 stages. It was a one bowl recipe. I was like, dude, this is it. This is
Yeah.
great. I don't know that I would repeat the rose water, but the almond definitely gave it like that Italian wedding cake type quality, um, which was really delicious, and just a simple whipped cream frosting. So that was really good. Then with all the oranges, I made orange marmalade this weekend. So I want to get back into kind of what Jeannie Jacobs was talking about, preserving and canning and pickling. Like I used to really be into it. And every time I think about doing it, I always get in my head and I'm like, it takes, more supplies. I got a piece of dog fuzz on my hat. Got it. It just, I could see it like bopping around in the corner of my eye. It just takes a lot of more time or space or commitment than I want. It actually really doesn't. I have a pot. The pot has a grate in the bottom. You set the jars on the grate. I have the air spacer. Have you ever canned, Steve?
No.
So there's this tool. I don't know that that's the name, but it's the name I will call it. I think it's called a spacing tool or a space tool. But it basically looks like a stair step. So it has little measurements on it that it will say like 3/4, half, quarter, and an eighth. And you set it, the measurement on the edge of the jar, and then the little piece that hangs down, you want the food not to come over it. You have to leave that amount of airspace because when you're canning or water bath canning something, the contents of the jar will expand. So if you don't leave enough headspace, it could make the jar explode, right?
Gotcha.
And you don't want to leave too much headspace because then that you'll trap air in your jar and you could get botulism, right? So anyway, I made orange marmalade. I'm very much in my Paddington era right now. I made all the orange marmalade, and I like orange marmalade in jam and jelly making because you don't have to peel or strain or really do anything. I sliced all the oranges on a mandolin, and then I used a pair of scissors to cut everything up into bite-sized pieces. You soak them overnight in cold water because it gets all the natural pectin to come out. But oranges don't have a lot. Like apples have the most. That's why you can buy like apple pectin and use it in jams and jellies to help other fruits that don't have it. But all that to say, it was beautiful. And I made 2 of the jars jalapeno orange marmalade. So ridiculous. Wow. Super ridiculous. Yeah, really, really good. So I gave some to a neighbor today. I would take some to work. It was glorious. But yeah, just a little bit of time, like piddling around in my own kitchen that I usually don't have the downtime to do, which was really awesome. So got some freezer stuff done, made some homemade chicken bone broth. I bought some new to me protein powder. There's a brand called Jocko. It is a whey is a whey and casein blend, which is just like if anybody's ever done like straight whey protein powder and it gave you like the protein parts, whey and casein is just a little bit more digestible. It's a really good blend that's like, I don't know, it's just more gentle on your gut. It's all the same macros, like all the same protein and stuff. But yeah, so I bought some of that. They also have a banana flavor that's very much Laffy Taffy. So I pre-blended a bunch of milk that I had in the fridge that was about to go bad with the protein powder. And then like put it in these like long ice cubes. So just I could just put it in my water bottle in the morning and already have like the shake and shake ready to go. And then I've been doing like proffee, like protein coffee. So like with the frother, like into hot milk, the protein powder, and then pouring your coffee over it. Delicious. So delicious. So
just be careful with that. I heard like if you put protein powder in like really hot liquids, it kind of it kills the protein to a certain extent. Yeah,
it can denature. I mean, it's just like anything else, right? But we're not talking scalded milk. We're just talking like, 10 seconds of the microwave to take the chill off.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's just because I don't like putting cold milk into hot coffee because it curdles.
That's never happened to me.
I don't know if you ever put like super cold whipping cream or like half and half, like real cream into coffee is just like a no-go. Sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. Sometimes those fat globules can like float to the surface and it's super unappetizing, but I guess it's not really a risk with me because right now I have almond milk and it's not real because almonds don't have nipples. Hey, what are you growling at? Knock it off. Sir.
He's talking back. He's like, I didn't get any of that.
He's like, almonds do too. Stop, please.
He's a stage level 5 vegan. He doesn't eat anything that casts a shadow.
Yeah, Simpsons throwback reference. Hey, you don't make friends with salad. So yeah, but anyway, I like nut milk. What can I say? I had a health inspector recently. We were talking about coffee and it was like nut milk and regular milk, oat milk or whatever. I offered alternative milk and she was like, it's really funny that they call it a milk because technically like milks come from like bovine mammal, like has to come from a man. I was like, yes. Yeah, I get it. Get off your high horse, ma'am. I like almonds when with water used as a milk. Shut up.
Stop. No one asked for your unsolicited opinion.
Nobody. Steve, have you ever watched The Righteous Gemstones?
I love that show. It was pretty funny.
Go outside, nerd. Nobody wants your worthless chime-ins. God, it's good. It's just so good. It's like 1,000 shades of wrong, but it's so good. All right. Anyway, sorry, the tangents continue. But hey, Steven, on Friday night, I went to this restaurant called Brodetto. I digressed so hard. Brodetto, which is broth.
I thought you were going to be like, it's a place where all the bros go.
Well, the bros, I would stay far away from there. Probably the pickleball court or some IPA craft beer bar, if I had to guess. with the douche bros. So anyway, Brodetto, and it is a Italian / Adriatic Sea fusion-esque restaurant.
Okay.
Was lucky enough to get snagged the last single reservation they had because they also take resis at the bar and there were no spots open for us single folks. So had the most amazing server who turned me on to a bakery I went to on Saturday morning for breakfast. But while I was there, I had those sardine toast, small plates, small plates, large plates concepts. I had cavatelli with ramps and rabbit. Was phenomenal.
Nice.
Like this rich, silky rabbit ragu and ramps. So for everybody that doesn't know, ramp is like a large, kind of stronger flavored spring onion. But they're a springtime, like a green onion.
Very, very good.
They're beautiful. They're beautiful and highly sought after because they have a really short seasonal window. Yes. Then I had roasted oysters. Steve, this was my first time to have oysters cooked and not deep fried. It was really
like Rockefeller?
Well, I have made Rockefeller before, but I have not eaten it. So the worst, right?
They're good.
So, I mean, incredible. So this was lemon, parsley, and like buttered breadcrumbs and garlic, like a really simple treatment. I mean, but sometimes simple is the best, right?
Right.
These were really beautiful. They came out on a bed of rock salt and like super hot and like bubbling when they got to the table. So I ate all the oysters out. Super delicious. No complaints there. No regrets. But then when the server came around and was like, hey, can I clear this for you? And I was like, no, I need bread. All this stuff is like left in the oyster shells, like butter and like lemon. I was like, I need bread for this. And he was like, so this is a fancier place. They had 2 or 3 bread services on the menu. And I was like, I could take this bread service or like whatever, they had like a house-made focaccia that came with a certain kind of condiments or whatever. And then they had like a, sourdough and everything else. And I was like, just whatever you think would pair well with this. And he's like, let me turn you on to something. He was like, you see this whipped ricotta on the menu? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, there's a Croatian bread called lapinja that comes with this. And I was like, whatever. I have no idea. Like, bring it on. So he brings out the most perfect bowl for everybody that's not watching on YouTube. I'm showing you the shape of the bread, but a bowl is the French word for ball. So this is like we see those artisan or artisanal loaves of bread that have been rolled into a giant ball. It was the most beautiful bread, Stephen. It had flaky sea salt on the top, and he told me that they take all the fats from roasting all the proteins in the restaurant, and they put in that dough. I was like, what? Let's go. Nice. It was beautiful. And of course, well, not of course. Like, I think if I had put my mind to it, I could have eaten the entire thing, but I knew I had more food coming, so I didn't want to. Like, I didn't try. But I had like half of the loaf left. I was just tearing off pieces and like getting all this amazing stuff up out of the oyster shells. It was insane. There was a family of 4 next to me staring at me like I was a sideshow spectacle. It was absolutely amazing. Yeah, I don't know if the kids had never seen somebody single eat alone, or maybe they just never seen a foodie like crush something. But yeah, it was just the tables weren't but this close together, Stephen. So their entire conversation was like madly interesting. But anyway, don't you love that? Like, so many fancy places, you can almost sitting in your neighbor's lap, but it's okay. It was still, like, yeah, I'm not like a huge fan, but I always just like chalk it up to like, this will be a great people watching experience. And so I always just go with the flow and try to find the silver lining, like enjoy it. I always hope that there's just not like a family argument going on next to me. But yeah, I had half the loaf and the guy was like, they let us take this home sometimes. You have to put a fried egg on that tomorrow. I didn't put a fried egg on it, but today I had it with orange marmalade before church. It was primo. So nice. Good. So good. What else did I have? I had amberjack crudo with pickled garlic, fennel, capers, and dill. 3 are your least favorite.
Wow.
2 is insane. Now, what do you think, Stephen, if you saw a menu with crudos on it and there was like 4 different things, how would you think that fish would be served?
On an ice cold plate.
Okay, sure. And raw, right?
Yeah, of course, raw. Hence crudo.
Would you think that it would be like thick, cubes, like what?
Semi-thin slices.
Right? I was I was pleasantly surprised and also thrown way off. The amberjack arrived in huge chunks, massive chunks, like at least 2 bites a piece chunks. I was like, super
Interesting.
interesting. So everything in the restaurant, essentially, as far as I could tell, was served in plate bowls, which I love. I'm a big fan of a plate bowl or a bowl plate,
Okay.
you know, deep plates or like whatever you'd like to call them. But when it came out, I almost thought they brought me the wrong thing because I was like really expecting super thin slices like carpaccio or,
Yeah.
you know, what's the other thing? Sashimi, you know?
Yeah.
No, big chunks. And it worked well. Amberjack's meaty enough that it worked beautifully. It was gorgeous. Like zero complaints.
How's it
So
with all the sides?
it was
or sauce?
beautiful. I don't know why I never thought about pickled garlic on raw fish, but man, really good. So good. Fish was just sweet and delicate and really clean
Yeah.
tasting and had all these like cute little like pickly things and amazing things to go with it. It was so good. It was so well done. It had just like a really nice olive oil drizzle and it was great. It was incredible. I think you really would have liked it, dill and all.
I probably would have.
Dill and fennel and all. I think it had enough going on that you would have been like, okay, I'll let you get away with this.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it totally made sense. For dessert, I really wasn't quite sure what I was going to get, but I started looking at the menu and I was like, well, I really wanted to try something from each category on the menu. But they had some large plates. They had their namesake brodetto, which was, I presume to be very close to a bouillabaisse type situation. And they had lamb pica, which is very close to like a Lancashire hot pot. Like they had like lamb and vegetables and parsnips and potatoes and everything else. And it kind of came in like the deepest, biggest dish that I could see that they had in the house. And then they also had kibbeh on with a little yogurt sauce. And I was like, okay, this is for next time. They had some beautiful things on that menu. But when I got to the dessert section, I was like, I wonder what I'll have. So at the bottom, so I was like extremely full. I had just crushed everything and I really meant to just kind of have half of each thing and take them home. But it was over and done with. I think I'd had a very light lunch on Friday. Like it doesn't really matter. Like I don't skip meals to earn them later. I just ate until I was full. But on the menu, they had vanilla bean gelato with flaky sea salt and olive oil.
Huh.
And I was like, okay. And then the next item was citrus sherbet with fresh citrus zest. At the bottom of the dessert menu, it said, make it a twist. And I was like, what does this mean? Does this mean what I think it means? And I asked him, like, if I make a twist, is it both these together? And he was like, yes. And I was like, sold. Let's go. He goes, that's the hardest sell on the dessert menu. I was like, why? It's brilliant. It's like an adult dreamsicle. Steven, it was insane. It was like this tall. I wish I could have finished it all. The flavors worked beautifully. I was like, I'm going to get everything, right? Like if you make this a twist, I'm still going to get the olive oil and the salt. And he's like, yes, you get everything. It's just a half and half. I was like, oh my God. And it was like a twisty cone, but like in a cup.
Twisty comb in a cup.
Insane. It was beautiful. I mean, I'm thinking that it means they've got the ice cream machine. That's the spinner, right? Like they're making it full on in house, but they had like the full on, like pull the lever twisty deal. Incredible, man. Incredible. Little flecks of vanilla bean throughout the gelato, the citrus. There's like yuzu and orange and incredible. It was so good. I told him, I said, I would have paid full price for half this portion just for the satisfaction of finishing it. It was insane. But he was like, I told him what I was doing. We had a couple people in common. So we were making small talk and I was like dropping names and like, oh, you work here? Yeah, I work here. Oh, you know, so-and-so. Yeah, they're amazing, right? Like, yeah, they recommended this place, blah, blah, blah. So I told him what I was doing. I was like, I'm taking the Raleigh food tour. He's like, oh, I have to know what's on your list. Like, I'm a huge foodie. I have to know what's on your list. I was like, okay, great. So nice. I tell him the list and he's like, are you going to Bolted Bakery? And I'm like, what's a Bolted Bakery? And he's like, Bolted Bakery, it's down by such and such coffee and chocolate company. I'm like, yeah, I don't know where that is. He's like, it's down by downtown. I'm like, okay, I vaguely know where that is, right? So I get up Saturday morning. I walk the dogs. I have to walk the dogs separately. One of them can only handle a certain distance and is all doped up on painkillers and antibiotics for what we think is a really bad sprain. He probably stepped in a hole in the backyard, like you do, right? The other one is demanding his full 1.5 miles and very spicy about it. I get that done. I make myself a coffee. I go down the freeway and I'm gonna go to this bakery. And it's a little bit of a hike. It's not everything is. I kind of live on the outside of everything, but I'm like, okay, it's gonna be worth it, dude. Steven, I walk in. There are croissants the size of my face. There are. What I've noticed is that 3 of the recommendations for restaurants are serving their bread service from this bakery, right? Bolted this, bolted that. I'm like, starting to put it together. There's a line out the door. I'm like, okay, to be expected. The parking was iffy, but I'm like, it's okay. I got this. So I park in this gravel pit mountain lot thing, right? I'm like, yes, I have an SUV. Amazing. Just for moments like these, right? They have grits bread that is a huge Pullman, piles of it. They mill their grains on site, and they use a really slow fermentation starter for all their levain. So they have a sourdough, they have a whole wheat sourdough, they have an artisan sesame loaf, they've got grits bread, they've got a couple of different kinds of croissants, and they make morning rolls, which are like their take on cruffin / cinnamon roll, but they're square on the outside and then round up in the middle. So just the most insane. They have the pastels de nata, the little custard tarts. Okay. And then they've got like a couple of different hand pies, sweets and savories. And then they have ham and cheese croissants. They've got chocolate croissants. I'm standing at this case like, I have no idea where to start. I don't know. So I'm asking the woman. So the thing that my server, shout out to Luke over at Burdetto, recommended, he was like, I hear that they're doing a scallion pancake croissant. And I'm probably going to be there in the morning. I might see you in line because I got to go get it. They just put it on their Instagram. I'm like, okay. So I immediately find it. I'm like, yes, they're not out. I grabbed 2 of those. Steven, the most ridiculous. You've had scallion pancake with Chinese food?
Yep.
The most ridiculously incredible thing that you ever ate. Swirled into this buttery croissant. Their croissant dough is insane, but there is like spicy, sharp, raw scallion flavor all throughout this thing. And it's like buttery and eggy and flaky. And dude, just incredible. I have another one in the fridge. I can't wait to eat it. It's going to be breakfast on Tuesday. I have it all mapped out. Because so good. I crushed that before I got to the car. I was like, yes, breakfast achieved. Okay. I got a quiche. The quiche is honey, goat cheese, and rainbow Swiss chard. They have 3 or 4 different kind of quiches. Beautiful. So I took my strategy was I'm going to take a little bite out of everything now so that I can speak to it, and then I'll eat it later, right? Because I left with like 4 things and they were massive. I got a gochujang and cabbage hand pie. I'm thrilled. I'm so excited. You never see Asian flavors like with croissant. No. Like I was like mind blown. They had some rhubarb stuff going on. I'm going to go back. Steven, I'm going to go back.
Yeah.
It could become my sandwich bread for the week. I love a slow fermentation sourdough. It's whether or not you have problems with gluten, the longer your dough ferments, the more it eats that gluten. It's just more easily digestible. But yeah, I mean, I don't have any issues with bread at all, but I'm just fascinated by that fact, right? I don't have any issues with gluten, but I love like wheat's got protein, sourdough's is good for your gut. I'm just like, hey, this is a win-win situation right here. And I like sandwiches. And now I have marmalade to put on sandwiches. So here we are. Everything's coming up in Millhouse. There's your other Simpsons throwback. So I'm peeking around the case and I'm like, what's the morning bun? And they tell me, and I'm like, sign me up. It looks like a cinnamon roll, but it's square. So I'm in. Yeah, it was incredible, man. I have to go back and get a loaf of bread. You could not believe how beautiful this bread is. It's beautiful, dark, crusty loaves. You walk in there, it smells amazing. They also grind coffee on site and they have a full coffee program. And you can sit down and eat. Insane. If you're ever in Raleigh, that's first place you've got to go. First
Yeah.
place you've got to go. So then I drove to Durham. There's this place called Ideals Deli and Sandwiches. Everybody's like, you have to go. You've got to try this place. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, you have to get there before it opens or you go after 1:30. Like, those are your options. And I'm like, well, I'm up and I'm out. So let's just go now. I got there full 40 minutes before it opened and I waited in line around the block. 100% worth it, Steve. They make their own bread. They have three sizes for their sandwiches. They got a half hoagie. I shit you not, Steven, the size of my forearm, half the hoagie. Okay.
That's half.
I ended up cutting it into finger sandwiches, and I've eaten it 3 more times. Okay. That's half. The full is a full. Okay. They make a rosemary focaccia. It's a round. You know Schlotzsky's? You have Schlotzsky's? You know the big, large Schlotzsky's, like the huge, large? That's the rosemary focaccia. And I look in the back wall of this place when I finally get in the door. There's like 4 panini presses going hard. Huge, size of your face, right? So you can get a half hoagie, you can get a full hoagie, you get a rosemary focaccia. There's like 6 things on the menu. They make that bread fresh every day, and the whole neighborhood knows because they were out. Everybody knows
So
about
you know
it.
they're doing right.
Driving, yeah. There's people driving in from everywhere, waiting in line. People are bringing water bottles with them. There's people who brought coolers. It's like they're waiting for the release of the new iPhone. It's insane. It was insane. And as soon as you get there, you can smell it. And they sell stuff in there like chili oil, anchovies, eggplant caponata. They sell frozen chicken parm and eggplant parm. They sell their bread frozen that's day old, name your price on it. And then they have like a cooler full of cold drinks, wine, and beer. And there's 2 picnic tables outside, but people are just sitting on the curb. They're sitting on their cars. They're in their cars, like legit, 100% legit. I got the Uncle Primo's cutlet. It's a chicken cutlet, basil mayonnaise, arugula, roasted red peppers, prosciutto between these 2 thin cutlets, and mozzarella.
Wow.
Dude, game changer. And it was just as good cold, which to me is like the mark of an amazing sandwich, right? I was like, I think I like this leftover better. Like, wow. Homemade salt and vinegar chips. They also have homemade garlic and onion chips and a nice cold Diet Coke. And I'm sitting in the 92 degrees it got up to yesterday, and I'm like wolfing it. It's like running down my arm, like extra napkins. But I'm going to get halfway into this half sandwich. And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Got to go. Like, I'm immediately full. Immediately full. I'm like, I've had a croissant. I've had 2 bites of the cinnamon roll. And like, this is good for now. Took a cold sandwich to eat on the way home, Steve. It was not to eat on the way home. Sorry, to have at home later. Because I wanted to try more than one thing. I have to go back, Steve. They have a breaded eggplant and ricotta. I got to get it. Balsamic. Yeah, like balsamic, dressed arugula, roasted red peppers, tomato, like eggplant parm basically, but not sauced. Oh, yeah. Like crispy, crunchy eggplant and like whipped ricotta. It sounds so good. It sounds so good. But the sandwich I got for later on was like cold. It was like mozzarella, prosciutto, peppers, arugula, balsamic. You get it. All salt, pepper. Like, yes. So good. The antipasto sandwich. That was incredible. Saturday night, I had plans to go somewhere. I was like, there's no way I'm going to be hungry. And I wasn't. I had like a couple of pieces of cold sandwich later on, and I had a little beer at the house. I was like, that's it. I was like, I'm totally set. So fast forward to today, Steve, I had the brunch of all brunches. I went to a place downtown Raleigh called St. Rock. St. Rock bills itself as a New Orleans-inspired take on North Carolina seafood. But not only New Orleans, like they have a couple of other influences too. I had my order planned out, and then when I get there, they give me a menu that has brunch on it. And I'm like, crap. Like I wasn't ready for this. They have a Latkes Benedict that has smoked salmon on it. Okay. I was like, maybe. I was like, but I think I know what I want. They have fried oyster hotcakes with whipped ricotta and hot honey. I'm like, maybe, but I think I already know what I want. I'm like fighting everything because I'm like, I've been looking at the menu for 3 days. I already had this planned out. This is a curveball I was not ready for. They also have They got gumbo. They have crawfish hush puppies. They have regular pancakes. They have a bayou breakfast that comes with andouille sausage and eggs.
Oh,
And they have shrimp and grits and eggs.
shrimp and
Insane.
grits and eggs.
But I didn't order any of that. I have to go back, which just means I have to go back.
All that sounds so good, though.
Steven, I ordered fried frog legs with
Yes.
tom yum seasoning, little crispy, crunchy bits like lemongrass flavor of ginger with a Vietnamese mayo. For sure had garlic, for sure had a little fish sauce in it. The best fried frog legs I've had in my life. Insane. The biggest ones I've ever seen. And then, do you like frog legs, Steve?
Love them.
I always tell people it's like you've got to open mouth grin and then kind of scrape. You'll get that little bone on the inside if you're not careful. It's not like a chicken wing. You can't just go like full at. You kind of got to like bite through. It was insane. And the guy that was working the raw bar was having the best time watching me eat these things because I was going after it. I was like, dude, these are stupid. I started doing my little stupid I like the food dance, like in my chair. Like just vibing out. Like just completely vibing out. So good. And she's like, what else do you want? You know, it was a total vibe. I got a little dirty martini. Sunday fun day. Ta-da!
You're supposed to.
A little dirty martini. I got this thing called the Carondelet. It is, I'm going to have to Google it. I really should have come better prepared, Steve, but like.
I think you did a great job getting prepared.
I don't know. Yeah, I ate all
the list, don't you?
I'm still full. I just don't know what
I was going to say, I don't know how you were able to eat. I mean, everything that you talked about was just one day, and now you're barely on brunch.
Well, like I said, so I had a strategy, right? Like I went to the bakery. I was going to eat one thing for breakfast. I knew I was going to get lunch. Dinner was kind of like the plans were open. Like I had two places that other people were telling me to try.
Yeah.
One place didn't take reservations, and they were like, "You got to show up at 4:30." And I was like, "Dude, at 4:30, I'm going to be at a food coma. No way. I'm going to be on the couch. I know what I'm going to be doing." And I sure was. Took the best nap ever from like 3 to 6. It was great. That's what you do when you have a Saturday off. But I got the Carondelet. It says it feeds 1 to 2 people. I was like, challenge accepted. I have never had North Carolina oysters. They're way different. They got a funk to them, like a kimchi fermented funk, like a salty, not a bad, but like just different. They're not sweet like PEI. You know, they wouldn't taste like super briny like the Gulf oysters. Like they're just completely different. But everything that they had available was like 5 different types from North Carolina, and I was like, okay, when in Raleigh, we're gonna do when in Raleigh. So the Carondelet came with 6 Shucker's Choice, and they deep fry their saltine crackers, Stephen. Deep fry them, like drop them in the deep fryer. They were golden brown and greasy and incredible. They were just incredible, just really good.
Wow.
So apparently, Carondelet is a historic neighborhood in St. Louis, Missouri, named in 1794 to honor Francisco Luis Hector de Carondelet, a Flemish-born Spanish governor of Louisiana. So there's the connection. That's a really long stretch to get to a menu name, but like, it's okay. It's okay.
Nice.
Apparently there's a street name in New Orleans. So there's the New Orleans connection. Apparently this was also the name of an American Civil War gunboat. There's your trivia for the day. The USS Carondelet. How fancy. So fancy. So fancy. Stephen, it came with what I thought was smoked whitefish dip. It was smoked catfish dip.
Huh.
And it was amazing. It had piquillo pepper and like little chow, like pickles on top.
Yeah.
And the base was definitely mayo, definitely cream cheese in there. Astounding on those deep fried saltines. And then it came with 6 little rosettes of smoked salmon, finished with a little dollop of creme fraiche on each. The presentation was gorgeous. And then it came with horseradish, cocktail sauce, their own hot sauce that they bottle, pickled banana peppers, and mignonette.
Wow.
Shut up. The entire thing was ridiculous. It was so good. It was so good. It was insanely good. And then I said, the guy goes, "Are you considering anything sweet?" And I was like, "Yep, go ahead and sell me your best dessert on the menu because it's not a meal until I'm super duper full." And he was like, "You got to get the beignets." And I was like, "I'm going to assume that they don't come in a single person size." And he was like, "It's a basket of 5." And I was like, "Bring me a box and the beignets." The beignets came with whiskey caramel sauce.
Ooh.
Astounding. Astounding. I finished 2 of them. They were hot. Oh, they were so hot and puffy and soft. Ridiculous. But that's it. That's all she wrote for the day. Like, done. Haven't eaten anything. I'm just full. But I'm pleasant.
Not eat for another few days.
I'm sated. I'm satiated. Well, I've divvied everything up. Tomorrow morning, I've got half a quiche and an apple. In the afternoon, I've got a little sandwich. My meal prep for the week is I'm breakfast, lunch, and snacks sorted for the week.
Nice.
I like it. I love trying a little bit of everything and then having it left over. So
see, I could do leftovers, but I'm not a big leftover guy for some of these things because I'd be like, it's not the same. But it sounds like it really is going to be the same, but better.
Well, for the bakery stuff, I was thinking about. I was like looking at the cost, and I think I spent $38 at the bakery. I'm like, okay, could I do that every week? Well, if I replaced my breakfast meal prep and like whatever I'm going to have in the house for breakfast with that, yes, realistically, I could drive to this bakery and get 7 items and have one little thingy for breakfast or like a mid-morning snack if I'm not going to be up early, right?
Uh-huh.
Whatever's going to break my fast. It doesn't have to be like breakfast, right?
Yeah.
I could have one. I was like, I could have one thing every day, or I could buy a loaf of really amazing bread and have kick-ass toast every single day, or sandwich bread, or whatever, right?
No.
So I'm like, it's really not outside the realm of possibility. But no, I wouldn't have taken anything home if it wasn't going to like heat well. But I know that pastry will heat. So
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like if anything savory was left over, like obviously I'm not going to take an oyster home raw.
Yeah.
Right. Now dip, that would last. I've got some Triscuits, like I could stretch that. But yeah, I love the idea of trying a little bit of everything just so I know what it tastes like and then like having it for later on. So
nice. Well, good.
I like it. I like the idea. We'll do a little snack.
Sounds like a good time.
Little snacking action. There was some octopus stuff that I didn't get to try. I have to go back.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
I expect a full book report.
These are winners, man. I can't thank the kind soul that gave me these recommendations enough. It was just the right vibes. It was just what I would have wanted. And I have to go back to St. Roch. They have a lasagna on the menu that has alligator bolognese in it. I think I mentioned it to you not too long ago, but yeah, I can't wait. They also have a shrimp creole on the menu that sounds incredible. So,
yeah.
Really, really, really good. So,
cool.
Just a
Well, it
really
sounds like you had a really good weekend.
it was really great. Like,
Well, I was cleaning pools, doing yards, and cooking chicken wings.
you got to keep the home fires burning though. Sometimes it's important. I mean, that's my weekend. It was my 4-day weekend. That's my day tomorrow, right? It's just like laundry and floors, doing stuff, catching
Yeah.
up on emails and stuff. Like it do be like that sometimes. You have to do those things so you can do all the other things,
I like to make a giant list and then do a little bit at a time. Like we were flipping mattresses, turning rugs, things like that. But
spring cleaning.
yeah, but I didn't want to do it all yesterday. So, divvying it up. So there's also that.
Oh, sounds like a conversation.
That's a whole other story, but
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I take it you're still full. So how you're still talking after all this food that you ate, couldn't tell you without, having more yawns.
Yeah.
I'm yawning. I wasn't even having half
Well,
of what.
I mean, the fun thing about some, bougie places, the portions aren't huge. So
True.
yeah. But if you plan it just right, like I knew that I was gonna ball out at brunch, so I just had like a little something to stoke the fire before church and a cup of coffee, and I was like, I'm gonna ball out at brunch, and then I'm gonna snack on a couple leftovers. Probably here at about an hour, I will have just the little tiniest thing, probably a piece of a sandwich as a late night snack. But yeah, I got a little quiche for one day. I got a little cabbage hand tart for one day. little morning roll. I'm so excited. So excited.
Sweet.
So it's been a while since I've had a little local bakery. I'm going to call it local, even though it's a 33-minute drive, but it's totally fine. The mileage is not that much. It's just that everything takes a little longer to get to here because the highways are quaint. Put it that way. They're quaint.
Yeah.
Quaint and cute. Texas could never 85 miles an hour speedway.
I was going to say, I'm sure the speed limit's like 45.
Yeah, bro. Bro. Yes.
Yep.
Steven, what are you cooking this week?
I think we're going to get a rack of ribs. I think we talked about it. We're just going to like roast them around a pineapple and then
I'm so
make our
excited
own
for you to
little
do that.
McRib, if you will.
I'm so
Make a barbecue sauce out of that pineapple with ketchup and mustard and pineapple and vinegars and pickles and onions. Although the pickles probably won't be for me, but still. You know.
Pickled something, but not pickles.
Pickled cucumbers.
Yes. Oh, I thought you meant like pickled onions or something.
Yeah. But you gotta, I don't know, maybe we'll use shallots instead because they're just so delicate and good.
Nice.
That's what we're doing. I also roasted off a bunch of sweet potatoes, and I'm going to try to make some sort of like healthy sweet potato cookie, but I don't know. We'll see.
Oats are really good. They make a really good buddy.
Yeah, it'd be like,
so it'd be like
that potato, your oats, your
egg,
little syrup, baking powder, protein powder, things like that. Because think about it, like your sweet potato is going to be like your wet agent, your binder, like, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Well, I used to make a breakfast cookie quite often that was applesauce, banana, oats, and chocolate chips. Sometimes I would put toasted coconut in it. You almost don't even need like the baking powder, depending on how much oats you put in there, because it kind of becomes like a no bake. Then what you're doing in the oven is like drying it out, so that it's not like pasty. Because it works with pumpkin too, and then I'm sure it works with sweet potato. Like anything you can do with pumpkin, you can do with sweet potato. So super exciting. Well, today I realized that like kind of like all the spring stuff is out at the farmer's market, and I always keep forgetting that I'm so blessed to live in a place where the farmer's market is open 7 days a week.
Wow.
So this week is payday, and I'm going to get back into canning and preserving. So I found an older recipe that I'm really excited to try for. I don't know if you know this or not, but bananas are not safe to can. They have a low enough acid to where you can't get a high enough pH to make it something safe to eat, even if you've water bath canned it. But there are recipes that are approved by the USDA to be safe and not make botulism. One of them is for a chutney that looks really interesting. It's like all spice and bananas and apples and raisins and cranberries and and a lot of acidic ingredients, a lot of other ingredients that'll make it safe to can. But I do want to do some candied jalapenos, and I will put cranberries in them. I'm going to do some pickled green beans, your arch nemesis. I found an older recipe for cinnamon apples that I would like to do, except these aren't just any cinnamon apples. They use Red Hot's candy syrup. So they're bright red and kind of that spicy cinnamon, like a Fireball candy. Can you imagine like on a scoop of vanilla ice cream? Like not only are they going to look beautiful in the jar, but they're super easy to do. And they're really good. And then some pickled yellow squash. And I think I want to try my hand at pressure canning this year. So stuff with meat in them.
Nice.
Like making a beef vegetable soup and canning it, or like making pot roast and pressure canning it to have on the shelf stable for up to a year. So just a little bit different. It takes more water and it takes a weight on top of your canner to get the right amount of pressure. And you can those things for like an hour, whereas jams and jellies you might cook under boiling water, but like in an open pan for 5-10 minutes, 15 minutes. So yeah.
Nice.
So I'm super excited, and maybe there's some salsa, some marinara coming, and I don't know. I'm everybody, if you turn 40, I think you need a granny hobby, and this is mine because I can't knit. So that's where we're at. Everybody's around me is getting into pickleball, and I'm just going to get into pickling. That's all. So.
I see what you did there.
So I'm just also not coordinated. So sports is not going to be it. I can slice and
It's
dice.
okay.
I can
You
slice
have-
and dice. So
I was going to say, you have plenty of other redeeming qualities. It's fine. We love you just the way you are, Melissa.
yeah, I got a face made for radio and a voice that usually makes babies cry, but here we are. But yeah, this week I'm gonna do some barbecued pulled chicken here at the house, and then I'm gonna go see what the farmers market has in store. One thing that the North Carolina farmers market always has is about 18 varieties of apples, and I love to just this is a flat price per pound, and I love to just go get like all 18 of them and not even know what I'm eating during the week, but it's one of my favorites. So
nice.
But yeah, everything's out and fresh and in bloom and has been harvested. So super duper excited. But yeah, barbecue pulled chicken for sure. Probably stuffed sweet potatoes. And then I have some shrimp in the freezer that needs to be used up. So probably shrimp fried rice. Might get to 2 of 3 of those this week, depending on how busy I am at work. But I'm super excited. And then the other thing, Steve, is that the church that I just started going to needs somebody to feed the youth on Sunday nights. So I did sign up. I'm going to be doing like some homemade Rice Krispie treats and some brownies. And I'll be doing hot ham and cheddar and then hot turkey and Swiss Hawaiian roll sandwiches with like garlic parsley butter on top, super crispy top, and like all baked on a sheet pan. And then probably pasta salad and cream corn, I think. So
I like it.
Yeah, super excited to just be able to serve the community in that way. And it's been a while since I had a group to cook for, and I always forget how much I love to do it. So it'll be super exciting. So I signed up for a few Sundays of that, and they don't really know me. I've only been there twice. It doesn't matter. Like, don't want any pats on the back. Actually, don't even want any recognition. I just want to serve. So
yeah,
want to be of service. So
that's good.
Yeah. Well, Steve, I'm super full.
It sounds like it. Yeah.
The food nap is coming. So if I eat anything later, it's probably going to be a piece of fruit and a tiny piece of sandwich.
I'm really sorry, but my internet's acting up. You're going to have to start from the beginning. Say it all over again.
That's okay. So on Friday night, I went to this restaurant. Steven's like, no, I was being facetious.
I didn't get a word of that.
Didn't get any of that. Absolutely not. It's not going to work for me, sir.
Right. We'll just have to catch you next time, and you'll have to tell me all about it next time.
Absolutely. One of these days I'll get to go to Virginia, but it wasn't in the cards this weekend. But I just wanted to catch you up. Being a tourist in your own town, like we said, sometimes you just got to go. Got to go try all the things. So, all right, Steve. Well, I'll see you next time.
You got it.
All right. Bye.
Bye.